Welcome to Discovering. Tonight we're winter camping at an Airbnb in the Keweenaw.
And everybody who's stayed, it's been like in single digits or maybe even below zero. That's just kind of how this winter's worked out, and everybody's been doing okay, staying warm.
And earlier this winter, Dad and I tried our luck at bluegill fishing.
Almost 9.
So sit back and relax, it's Monday night and it's time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
The Keweenaw Peninsula got dumped with over 280 inches of snow this winter. So, of anywhere in the UP, it's probably the best place to experience winter camping. I found an Airbnb in Calumet where you can rent a canvas tent, furnished and set up for winter camping. I brought my dad along for an overnight adventure and to meet the hosts. The hosts are Greg and Kim Green, and their property sits right on the Houghton-Keweenaw County line. The Greens opened their property for winter camping just this winter. It was a couple 100-yard snowshoe from the parking lot to the campsite. We went right after the Keweenaw got dumped with something like 20 inches of snow. I scheduled this trip with hopes of it being a warm night, but Mother Nature didn't cooperate. It was chilly, but the sun was out, and even better, no wind, which I feel is rare. But even if it was windy, the snow was piled so high around the campsite, we were in our own little protected bunker.
And everybody who's stayed, it's been like in single digits or maybe even below zero. That's just kind of how this winter's worked out, and everybody's been doing okay, staying warm.
We had a couple of young ladies we knew that they were initiated at over Christmas break from Tech. They're freshmen college students, so they did great. Processed their own wood and sat in there and read and drank tea, and so we thought, okay, I think it's going to go. We're going to put it up on Airbnb and see if it goes, and get a few people. It's called the unglamping because if you look online, there's camping in these bell tents that have, draped beds and candles, and that's more in the summertime, but so we titled it unglamping online. So glamping in the hardwoods, so people know this is going to be actually pretty much the real deal. It's going to be cold.
You would be our fifth group, people staying here. We've had 3 Airbnb guests so far, and 1 coming this weekend on Friday. So we're cool with that, like just being sort of slow and easy, because we don't want to get overwhelmed. But this really became just like a project that gave Greg something to focus on and do and really create. And it's really amazing. He was having some trouble with his back this summer, and that kind of took away from his normal activities. And so Greg created this campsite as a project this summer, fall.
I went in and I sold my gravel bike, and it cost the exact same amount as that tent did. It was $800 for the tent and $200 for the stove, so it's not too much investment. And then everything else is Goodwill or knocked together with junk.
So Greg's an artist, and he's used to scavenging. As long as I've known him, he's always been a scavenger for thrift items, and he's always looking at the ground and picking up things that he would use in his art. And so this camp has kind of become like a big art project in a way.
Right here was a stump. It was a ironwood stump sticking out, so heavy enough to carve it down, and then got this little splitter for just pretty much just processing kindling, but works pretty good. Not too many bigger pieces, but and then we were out doing some hiking and some burls on a pine. Yeah. So that one works a little bit better for smaller stuff. And then this one, we figured, is for wives that want their husbands to go out and cut some wood. So that doesn't do absolutely anything. So if you want to try some of this stuff later, but I cut some cedar back behind us here in the fall. So really get air drafting through the hole and out the top. And I put some roofing nails on there. You can get it going, and I usually use the bellows to get it from some oxygen finally going, but it'll last about an hour, and you can set your teapot right on there or whatever and cook.
You just build a fire right in there.
You build it right through the hole. So
it's like the log is your stove.
This is your stove, so it's disposable.
Burns.
So
Mm-hmm.
a bigger. So I scavenged some stuff to make a Dutch oven for the campfire, for making whatever you want for bread, and then just a round grate. And what we've been doing is taking a pan of rolls or whatever, a loaf of bread, stick it down in there, and I set that in the coals if you guys want to try it tonight, and scoop with my little shovel there some of the embers on top. Get totally covered with heat. Then this is the hard part, is you get to pull it to get the lid off, so it's going to be hot. So take that off, and then you can get it out of there. But you can buy, you can buy a Dutch oven for that. They're $100 or more, for nice cast iron ones. But this is more fun stuff for us. So we added on a vestibule. It didn't come with it, so we sent it to that company that we got the tent from in Kimsoda, a Triangle. They stopped making these for these, and I just wanted something for the entrance. Feels cozier, and put some firewood under. It doesn't seem to matter. It was so much snow last night. The bed I built last summer out of some scraps, and then the slats were a little bit harder than even with all the pads we put on it to lay on there, like you see on YouTube. So we broke down and got an air mattress for in here, and it's been working out okay. It's actually been holding air. We were really surprised, and so it's going to be warmer up there, whoever gets the bed. And then folks, just move around. There's the table and stuff to lay their sleeping bags on the floor. Chairs from Habitat. I took the angle grinder and shortened the legs on them. A little bit of a cupboard there, some coffee in there for you guys, and silverware. And
even though I brought Dad for his wood making and fire building skills are not needed here. Superhost Greg will even start the fires for you before you get there.
A couple pieces of slate, and then this tin pan keeps it pretty good from ashes falling out and stuff and catching on the rugs. So I had a different spark arrestor on the end of that stove pipe last year. Any kind of paper you put in it was clogging it up, and we're like, why is there even so much smoke in here? So I actually built this to go away from I added the elbow and added some sections to make the smokestack go away from the tent, and then a big piece of mesh there to catch. I don't have any worries that we're going to catch on fire, but from a spark, but you never know. Feels bad. So I'll let this just stay ajar, start getting oxygen. How's the smoke coming out that stack, you guys? How's that?
Well.
Okay. Yeah. Thermometers say we're hovering at 45 degrees already. When it's going to get hot, and this door might warp and won't open. This flap won't open, or this won't turn. So I usually use the old roofing and just tunk it to get that lever back up to loosen again. So
no winter campsite would be complete without a primitive outhouse. Campsite rule number 1, no yellow snow. I can see how that could be unsightly for the next guests.
We were just listing it through the end of March, and we may extend it if April kind of looks like this, which it often does.
Yeah.
We'll probably open it up for April too.
Maybe not quite as, maybe a little bit lighter out and maybe not quite as cold, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then we're just gonna sort of play it by ear for going into the spring and summer and see if we want to continue it.
That and how the bugs go for folks.
Yeah. And, you know, we go through that kind of mud season that isn't so pleasant up here. It's kind of ugly in the spring, so, but we'll just see.
After Greg and Kim left us, we set up camp. They provide you with firewood for indoors and some for the campfire, fire starter, and water. Dad collected a little more firewood from dead trees around the campsite, and I started dinner before it got too dark. My dad and I aren't much for cooks and would have been perfectly happy with hot dogs, which we did bring, just in case dinner didn't turn out. I have a lot of lake trout in the freezer from stories last year. I know, poor me. So I figured now is a good time to use some of that up. I found a salmon marinade recipe in a local church cookbook. Equal parts bourbon, soy sauce, oil, and water, plus minced garlic and lemon pepper. On the side, diced potatoes, seasoned with garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Add some frozen butter, wrap in tinfoil, and set on the coals. And courtesy of Greg, rolls to put in the Dutch oven.
I would try it.
Think I should flip our taters?
Oh yeah, probably.
Holy smoke.
I got distracted with filming, chatting with Dad, and making potatoes, and well, I blackened the rolls, just the way I like them. Whoops.
Did you eat the burnt part?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, it ain't too bad.
We finally figured out how to grill the fish over the open fire, and after what seemed like forever, dinner was finally done. And it was actually good. Or maybe it was hot food on a cold night, so anything was going to taste good. The temperature dropped even more once the sun went down, but it was cozy around the fire, surrounded by our bunker of snow. The forest was silent and still. Only once did we hear a snowmobile off in the distance. We stayed outside and sat around the campfire until the last of the firewood was reduced to coals. Overnight, the temperature dipped below zero. We survived, thanks to Dad for filling the wood stove all night long. I had the bed and my 20-degree sleeping bag. He had the floor, piled with sleeping pads and blankets and sleeping bags. We woke up to a new layer of fresh snow. The best part of waking up is coffee and donuts. We enjoyed a couple cups of coffee, packed up, and headed out. On the hike out, we saw the reason for all the rabbit signs along the trail. Fresh rabbit tracks. This winter, I made the time to get out on the ice a few times with my dad. We didn't have the best of luck between the bitter cold temps and the wind and the fish not biting, but it wasn't really about catching fish. And as you'll see, we aren't that serious of anglers.
Yeah, come on now.
I got him.
You got him?
I got him.
All right. Cool. You broke the ice. Got the first fish. And wind chill probably got to be below 0. Well, you can't catch no fish if the rod ain't in the water.
It's in the water.
Oh, okay. It ain't biting time yet.
Day 1, I forgot to charge my flasher and the battery died halfway through the afternoon and I had to fish like Dad. You don't need a lot of fancy gear or a shelter to go fishing. And if you're my dad, all you need is a couple fishing poles, a hand dogger, bait, a bucket, and beer, and a homemade scoop.
Yeah, a ladle or what do you call them things? I drilled holes in it. Went to the Vinny's and picked this up and drilled holes in it. I don't think I started ice fishing until you must have been about 5 already. Yeah, that's when you could keep 50 bluegill a day. 50, yeah, instead of 25. Aha, there's a bite. Ah! Dirty bugger.
You missed one, Dad.
Oh boy. I want to hear I caught one.
No, I felt it tug a couple times too. It was there.
My drag is goofed up. Froze, I suppose, eh? You want to see a fish?
Huh?
You want to see a big fish?
Oh, not the camera. Hey.
Well, that's got to be what? Let's see. That's almost 9.
Day 2, we learned that a friend with a power auger makes life a lot easier. We thankfully ran into my friend John, who drilled a few holes for us so Dad didn't have to with the hand auger this time. Day 2 must have also been Take Your Dad Fishing Day. Neither John or his dad Mike wanted to be on TV.
What do you get?
Oh, what do we got? Not many.
Oh, that is a nice crappie.
What's the big one you got? What's the biggest?
Probably about a 10-inch crappie.
Oh, good.
Not much happening.
The local store was out of bait that day, so we only had what was left from the previous day. We went anyways and fished until we were out of waxworms. We were only catching puny ones anyways.
Holy cow, you're kicking my butt. Water
He's
bait.
huge.
Whoa, wait. I lost it.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's still there, it's so small. Got one. It's probably 3 inches. Maybe 4. Maybe 5. Fighting, little bugger. 5.
Day 3, I left the big camera at home and just brought the GoPro. Of course, it was our most successful outing. I think we caught 5 fish.
You get him?
Little one.
How do you get that thing off there? That's not a huge one, but
Within a minute, I'm going to have a bite.
1 minute.
1.
Should I set a timer?
Well, that's it for this week. Be sure to check out 906outdoors.com, where you'll find the 906 Fishing Report, TV6 weather, shopping, and more. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week, right here on Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.